Lord, have mercy upon us. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness hast appointed the office of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of men and women, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in these islands. Let thy blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of these islands and those whose interest thou hast committed to our charge. And this we beg for Jesus Christ his sake. Amen. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all evermore. Amen. Okay.
Confirmation of minutes. Members, are there any concerns about the minutes for May the 16th? There being none, those minutes are approved. Minutes of May the 19th. Any corrections, objections? There being none, they are also approved. Announcement by the speaker or member presiding. Members, the speaker is absent, the premier is absent. Member Famous has given apologies for his absence. Member Emily Deal has given apologies for her absence. And Member Dickinson has given apologies for his absence. Those are the notices. Messages from the Senate. There are none. Papers and other communications to the House. There are none. Petitions. There are none. Statements by ministers and junior ministers. There are none. Reports of committee. There are none. Question period. Of course, there are none. Congratulatory and or obituary speeches. I recognize the member from constituency 29, the deputy premier. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. Madam Acting Speaker, I would like to the House to send congratulations to the Bermuda Snooker League. You will know that Honorable Member Kim Swan mentioned the St. George's team winning a cup 2 weeks ago. Well, the Bermuda Snooker League are currently hosting the International Snooker Tournament, which is being held at the Spanish Point Boat Club. And I think it's only fitting that we mention some of the members responsible for the organization of such. And those members are the President Paul Fedden, Stephen Bremer, declare my interest, my sister Penny De Silva, and many others that have taken part in getting this. It's a huge undertaking because snooker tables, as you may know, Madam Deputy Speaker, are very heavy. When you have to break them down and install them, they are very, very heavy slates in which to put in place to make them work. So there have been many other people that have helped to pull this event off, which we expect almost, I think, 48 international visitors coming down for the tournament. And others that have been involved, and you will know Kelvin Richardson, also known as Squala, from down the East End, Alan Smith, Aaron Bean, Tyler Monis, Kyle Williams, Martin Cease, and I'm sure there are others. But I did go to the opening the other night, and it was well represented. And everyone, the international visitors, seem to be really enjoying the Bermudian hospitality, and they'll be here for the next week. So my hats go off to all of them for making this event a success that it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the minister from constituency 15. Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. And Madam Acting Speaker, I'd like to start my comments by saying these come from a position of my professional status rather than my personal. And I would like to congratulate the St. David's cricket team. And you probably won't hear me say that much in a personal capacity at all. But I want to congratulate them, the St. David's cricket team, and associate the vice president of Cleveland County and another supporter of Cleveland with those and yourself, Madam Acting Deputy Speaker, because St. David's Cricket Club has secured the Premier Division 2020 league title as of last week. And particularly want to shout out to the captain of St. David's Cricket Club, who is my constituent, Mr. Derek Brangman. You would all know Mr. Derek Brangman as a cup match player and also 3-time MVP of the Bermuda Cricket Board. So he is the captain of that team, and I thought only fitting that I rise to my feet this morning and congratulate St. David's Cricket Club on the first trophy that has been produced in this cricket season. And it hurts so much to say that, as you know, Madam Acting Deputy. Also, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Caitlin Bob. I'm not sure if that was done the other day, but she was very successful in an ACC championship, winning the 400 meters, which we have seen recently. So I'd like to congratulate her. I'd like to be associated as well with the comments from the Deputy and Acting Premier on the snooker. I will be making an appearance at some point this weekend. I had to explain to some in my office what snooker was. But congratulations on being able to bring tournaments. And as you would know, Madam Acting Speaker, it is always important to see sporting competitions and sporting groups come to Bermuda, because although it is all in good spirit of competition, it is also additional tourist to the island. So thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 26. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Acting Speaker. It's with some sadness that I have to stand this morning to say that the Death Angel has not been very happy with us in Warwick of recent, taking some of our constituents at a very early age. And so I'm asking if this House can send condolences to two families in my constituency. And the first one is the passing of Catherine Ann Ming, whose husband is Royden Ming, which a lot of people I think may know of Spice Hill Road. I remember speaking to Ms. Ming just before the election in February, and we were having such a good time on her porch. I forgot I had to go next door. And all of a sudden I hear that she took sick and passed just recently. So I asked that condolences be sent to her and her children, to her husband, children Selena, Salika, and Sabrina as well. The next family that I wish to talk about is Miss Marie Salters, who passed. She's from Bulkhead Drive in Warwick. And I know her son, Darian Bean, is certainly going to miss her very much, because I think they were very, very close. Miss Salters was not that young, but at the same time, I still think was taken a bit too early. And I would ask that condolences be sent to the family. And I didn't get the opportunity earlier to associate myself with the passing of Ms. Mina Scott of Spice Hill as well. One of her, in fact, her son actually was in this house at some point in time, and he and I know each other well. So I asked that I be associated with those condolences as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 28. Member, you have the floor.
Good morning, Madam Speaker, and to our listening audience. I would also like to associate, Madam Speaker, with the condolences being sent to Mrs. Mina Scott. Her grandson was a very good friend of mine from school days, and we still keep in touch today. And so I'd just like to associate with the comments and just send my condolences to the Scott family. Like to associate MP Lawrence Scott and Scott Simmons. I'd also like to send condolences to the family of Mr. Thomas Lewaski Jones. While I didn't know him, he's a son of Thomas and Paulette Bailey. His younger brother is best friends to one of my younger brothers. So, he had his incident happens around the similar time that my mother was in Agape House. And so our families went through a time of grieving at the same time. And so I just wanted to send condolences to the family of Mr. Thomas Jones. Also, to the family and to a relative of mine, the family of Mr. Ellen Stacy Gilbert, who passed and was buried this week. I'd like to associate MP Scott Simmons. He was a family member, and while I hadn't seen him in recent years, I do remember in my younger years always run into him, and he was always had a smile on his face, and we shared a good laugh. So condolences to the Gilbert family. And on a lighter note, I would also like to add my comments to those of the Minister Darrell in regards to Ms. Caitlin Bobb. The 400 meters that she ran, she done it in a time of 51.11 seconds, which was a personal best, not only for herself or a national Bermuda best, but also for her school record for her school, Virginia Tech. Also, I'd like to send congratulations to Ms. Shayla Can, who also over the weekend participated in the Coastal Athletic Association Women's Track and Field Championship. I'd also like to associate Minister Wilson. She finished silver in the 800 meters in a time of 2 minutes, 7 seconds, 7.89 seconds. And so I always like to highlight Bermudians, especially young Bermudians, participating, competing whether locally or internationally and representing Bermuda well. And lastly, I would just like to commend, while it hasn't happened yet today, the West Stand Primary School is hosting and holding their Heritage Day celebration. And the theme is The Future Is Now, where they'll be doing a parade and a marathon in and around the Somerset community. And that again is
how the West copies the East.
what does it say? The best is in the West. But I would like to just send, as I said, it hasn't happened as yet, but commend the West Stand School for recognizing our history and our culture and starting young, getting the children to understand what the history and culture is all about. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the minister from constituency 4. Minister, you have the floor.
Good morning, Deputy Speaker. I don't know if this was done in the House already, but if it was, I do definitely want to be associated with it. And that is the recognition of the Teen Services Outstanding Teen Awards that had taken place earlier this month. I want to take the opportunity for us to send congratulatory remarks to all of those teens who participated and who were recipients of the awards. I had the opportunity last night to attend a reception for all of the outstanding teens that were awarded. And I just wanted to share with this House and the members of our community that we have some outstanding young people in Bermuda. And every year we know this, but we tend to focus on the negativity and the sort of situations as it relates to our young people. And we need to take more opportunity to highlight the positivity of our young people. We had young people who were, there were about 12 awards that were given, and they had over 200 nominations of outstanding young persons, particularly for the different awards. If you allow me, I'd just like to announce the winners of the special categories if I have enough time. But Most Progress Award, Aaliyah Trott. I might pronounce these names wrong. Please forgive me in advance. Cameron McNeil. Community Service, Milan Nisbet. Spiritual Leadership, Kaylin Fleming and Daquan Dixon. Sports, Charlotte Millington and Jake Smith. Public Speaking, Helena Thomas and Guyan Bean. Entrepreneurship, Shia Bean and Michael Scott. Visual Arts, Ella Hubbard and Jayinde Priest. STEM Award, Sophia Perrin and Remy Donowa. Perseverance, Alyssa Walsh and McKaylee Willis. Performing Arts, Hannah Taylor and Jack McDonald. Vocational and Technical Arts, Jordan Mello and Michael Darrow. Leadership, Kaylin Fleming and Elias Baya. Academic Achievement, Rihanna King and Jaden Alex Woolward. Hospitality, Kanasia Wolf and Ollie Cherry. Special recognition to Kai Jaylee, Jean Marie, and overall, teen outstanding overall was Essie Naylor. And so I do want to publicly congratulate all of those outstanding teens and all of our young people who are doing some amazing things in Bermuda. Well done.
Thank you, Minister. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member Simmons from constituency 32. Member, you have the floor.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Madam Speaker, I rise in this honorable house to ask that condolences be appropriately sent to the former chief inspector, Mr. Hilton Wingard. I ask that if we haven't done that
associate
already,
yourself.
very well. I'll associate myself. You've already seen to it, but Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, I had the opportunity of going to his service, which was held just early part of this week. It was a wonderful service. I had the opportunity of serving on the Bermuda Police Service with Chief Inspector Hilton Wingard, and I found him to be a stately man, a wonderful Chief Inspector, who I had a very brief encounter with, because, Madam Speaker, when I joined the police service, went through the training school, and when I was attached with, I believe it was now Superintendent Tracy Adams, and we went to the Western Division under with Clara Saunders and under Sergeant, I can't remember his name now. But at any rate, Madam Deputy Speaker, when I walked in the door, I was sent in immediately to speak to the Chief Inspector. And we sat down. He spent quite a long time regaling the police service, bringing me up to date. And then he said to me, he said, "Young Constable, I wish you all the best." So I looked at him and he said, "This is my last day." My first, his last. And Mr. Wingard was well known in the community. I knew him for a long time. It was a sad day. And then, of course, the Western Police Division was taken over by Chief Inspector Larry Smith, LSMG, PMG. He'll be much remembered. He'll be revered, and I wish certainly condolences be sent out to his family. Thank you.
Thank you, member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member Linda Smith from constituency 31.
Correct. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I just wanted to associate myself with the comments made by the Honorable Minister with respect to the Outstanding Teens Award, and congratulations to all the participants and certainly the winners. And I think it does speak about, the quiet people in this community that are doing the good things and the right things. And it's nice when, the spotlight can be on them. So congratulations to them.
Thank you, member.
And I associate the Honorable Member Robert King with my comments.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 24. Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker. I just want to be associated with the comments with Minna Scott, who is my great aunt. She and my grandfather were brother and sister, and she was a darling lady. She if a flower was to represent a person and personality, her flower would be the rose. It was beautiful, fragrant, but still thorny at times. And so she did not mince her words, and she let you know how she felt at all times. She was a staunch Seventh-day Adventist supporter and spread the gospel as much as she could, and made sure that everybody made it into heaven by celebrating and observing the Sabbath. I would also like to be associated with the comments and congratulations for Teen Services. I will declare my interest. It was founded by my mother, Olga Scott. And I never knew why I wasn't able to participate in the Outstanding Teen Award when I was younger. And my mother told me because it wouldn't be fair to the others, and the others would have to have a chance of winning. And so I still believe that to this day. But it is good to see her legacy live on. I am a proud uncle, and as my nephew was nominated for one of the categories. But once again, it is just good to see her legacy live on, and it shows that the future of Bermuda is in good hands.
Thank you, member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? I recognize the member, Ms. Tucker from constituency 2027. No. Seven. I was just going to say.
Good morning, Madam Speaker.
Fine.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to associate myself with the condolences expressed for Ms. Marie Ismay Salters, particularly for her brother, who is a constituent, Mr. Earl Lee Bean, and his wife, Mrs. Owen Lee Bean, and as well as Shawnette, Sherry Leon, and Sarita. Thank you.
Thank you, member Tucker from constituency 7. Any other persons wish to speak? I recognize the member from constituency 30.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and good morning. I rise to give condolences to the family of Jasmine Smith, who unfortunately lost her life in the incident, the horrendous incident that happened at Legends in Somerset. And I know that
You want to be associated.
I want to associate with that. And I know that it was spoken about, but I wanted to speak about her specifically because as a fellow Raleigh alumni, Raleigh Bermuda, it's been a very rough year, losing her and Jawande Smith in such a short span of time. People who really epitomized what it was to be a Raleigh Bermuda member and give back to the community, and also, you know, have a story of redemption as well and getting back on the right path. And so, you know, I wanted to also extend my condolences to the Raleigh alumni who are grieving the loss of two very crucial members of this organization. And I hope that, you know, her family and all the families affected and all her loved ones find some solace in each other during these difficult times. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? Well, I just want to say a short congratulatory comment to the great Warriors from St. David's in winning the 2020 league. And I thank the member from constituency 15 for sharing how great they are. And hopefully they will go on to win the knockout competition as well. So I had to be associated with those comments. So thank you, member. Members, that takes us on to matters of privilege. There are none. Personal explanations, there are none. Notice of motion for the adjournment of the House on matters of urgent public importance. There are none. Introduction of bills. There are none. Notice of motion. There are none. And that brings us to the orders of the day. Resumption in committee. Acting Premier, please.
Yes, Madam Acting Speaker, I move that the House do now resume in Committee of Supply to consider the estimates of revenue and expenditure for 2025-2026.
It has been moved that we move to Committee of Supply. Are there any objections? There being none, so moved. I ask for Member Simmons to assume the chair.
Ready? Good morning, members. We are now in committee of supply for further considerations of the estimates and revenue and expenditure for the year 2025-2026. We're heads 86, 23, and 55. Will be considered and now will be debated. I call for the minister in charge to proceed. I recognize the Honorable Member Tanae Furbert, Minister, if I'm correct, of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors. Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Morning.
I move the following heads: 86, Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors Headquarters; 23, Child and Family Services; 55, Financial Assistance, be now taken under consideration.
It has been moved that the heads be now taken under consideration. Any objection? There is none. Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am pleased to present the 2025-26 budget estimates for the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors, which comprises of the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors Headquarters, inclusive of Aging and Disability Services, the K. Margaret Carter Center, the Office of Youth Affairs, the Department of Child and Family Services, and the Department of Financial Assistance. Mr. Chairman, the 2025-26 budget allocations for the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors will demonstrate that there is a continued commitment with funding to support Bermuda's population during their lifespan, which includes our most vulnerable and cherished population groups, that is our children, including youth, persons with disabilities, and our seniors. To this end, Mr. Chairman, we have ensured that the services and programs offered by the ministry will directly impact and improve their overall well-being and quality of life. Mr. Chairman, the ministry focused on numerous national priorities during the last budget year, which are ongoing and will continue in the upcoming 2025-26 budget year. I will briefly highlight these as follows. Mr. Chairman, the Steering Committee for the National Intellectual Disabilities Plan is a non-statutory body that includes representation from a cross-sector of the community who have technical expertise and firsthand experience interacting with persons with intellectual disabilities. The committee members represent the public and private sectors, non-governmental organizations, and civil society, and has been charged with overseeing the implementation of the 5-year national plan for adults with intellectual disabilities and their families, 2023 to 2028. The aim of the national plan is to facilitate cross-sector collaboration, to identify and address the gaps, to improve services and supports, to ensure adults with intellectual disabilities have healthy and happy lives. 3 priorities were selected as a starting point for executing the national plan, which included 1, quality support and services; 2, policy, regulation, and accountability; and 3, advocacy and communication. The work of these subcommittees will be shared later in the brief under Aging and Disability Services initiatives. Mr. Chairman, the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors is committed to creating a more inclusive Bermuda by empowering adults with disabilities and their families, strengthening the government's commitment to uphold the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and aligning with UN's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goal, Good Health and Well-being, and Goal 10, Reduce Inequalities, ensuring persons with disabilities in Bermuda do not get left behind. Mr. Chairman, the first Gender Affairs Council, established in 2023, was given the mandate to propose legislative changes to the government, review policy initiatives, and evaluate programs that ensure gender equality, as well as ensure Bermuda's compliance with the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. Mr. Chairman, last year, the Council developed a work plan that included reviewing the CARICOM's Regional Knowledge, Attitude, and Practice CAP tool. The CAP tool provides a regional model that aims to address the gaps in comprehensive, reliable, comparable data on what people in the region know based on their knowledge about violence against women and girls, and what they think about the issues, their attitudes, and how social norms might influence their experience of the issues and practice. The development of the CAP tool is supported by UNICEF and the Gender and Development Program within CARICOM to support the development of a standardized model on social gender norms and violence against women and girls to enable the formulation of evidence-based programs aimed at changing social norms to strengthen this area of prevention. Mr. Chairman, the Council has developed recommendations and a framework on how the CAP tool will be adapted for Bermuda. This framework aims to assist government departments and organizations in collecting accurate data on knowledge, attitudes, and practices to support strategies and support informed decision-making about social gender norms. Mr. Chairman, to engage the public and raise awareness on gender matters within the community, the Gender Affairs Council created an Instagram account which provides information about the role and responsibilities of the council and gives a brief biography of members serving on the council. The Instagram page is gender.affairs.council.bermuda. Mr. Chairman, this year, in support of International Women's Day, the Gender Affairs Council highlighted Bermudian women, past and present, who have accelerated action in the community. Jessica Cooper Lewis, Paralympian athlete, Cindy Clark, Director of Public Prosecutions, Dame Pamela Gordon, former Premier of Bermuda, Dr. Barbara Ball, physician, politician, and social activist, and Gladys Minsick Morrill. The chair of the Gender Affairs Council also presented an affirmation on behalf of the council during the opening of the Women's Resource Center's International Women's Day celebration on March 7, 2025, and at the government's of Bermuda's first Empower, Thrive, and Shine Women's Wellness Celebration Fair. Mr. Chairman, during the best practice protections and safeguarding of our children, it's imperative. In support of this, during the past year, the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors continue to strengthen the litigation guardian framework by setting up building blocks for a long-term sustainable litigation guardian service. Mr. Chairman, the ministry officially established the Office of Litigation Guardians as part of the ministry and identified a private secure meeting room for the litigation guardians to meet with children and their families. Also, a proof of lawyers who specialize in child care was developed to serve as litigation counsel when appointed by the courts. Additionally, a public information pamphlet was produced in December of 2024, explaining the work of litigation guardian service to enhance public awareness of the role of litigation guardians. Mr. Chairman, the UK Foreign Commonwealth Development Office continued to provide the ministry with technical expert support of consultant Mr. Anthony Douglas, CBE, a former chief executive of England's Children and Family Court. In March of this year, the ministry hosted a series of meetings, discussions, and work sessions for the judiciary, litigation guardians, and community partners, all who impact the lives of our children in some way. Mr. Chairman, in November of 2024, the ministry organized its third awareness campaign last year to observe the United Nations International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls and the launch of the 16 Days of Activism. The theme was #NoExcuse, which emphasized the importance of collective investment and continued action. The theme urged individuals, communities, and governments to unite in the fight against violence against women and to invest in long-term solutions. The ministry actioned its investment by proposing a perpetrator treatment services program that will be launched later this year, hiring a domestic violence social worker who commenced in April of this year, and providing a grant of $150,000 to the Center Against Abuse to support their services within the community to prevent violence against women. Mr. Chairman, as part of the campaign, the ministry held a groundbreaking roundtable focus group session that brought together the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, government senators, the Deputy Police Commissioner, officers from Department of Child and Family Services, and representatives from the Gender Affairs Council, Women's Resource Center, and Center Against Abuse. This collaborative initiative provided a forum for the discussion of pressing issues concerning domestic violence and support for abused women in Bermuda, which aligned with global efforts to eliminate violence against women and girls and work towards helping them rebuild their lives. Mr. Chairman, the ministry continued its joint partnership with UN Women and the UNDP, participating in the Joint Sustainable Development Goal Fund program entitled Building Back Equal, through innovative financing for gender equality and women's empowerment. In partnership with UN Women, the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation, and UN Development Program, the joint program was advanced by offering initiatives and services to support opportunities for women, persons with disabilities, and youth who own micro, small, and medium enterprise in Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, in July and September 2024, UN Women, through the partnership with the Ministry and BEDC, led virtual training sessions on Women Empowerment Principles, WEPS 101, and the Gender Gap Analysis Tool for Business Growth in Bermuda. WEPS are a set of guidelines established by UN Women and UN Global Compact to promote gender equality and women's empowerment in the workplace, marketplace, and community. The guidelines provide a framework for businesses, regardless of size, sector, or geography, on how to empower women in these spaces. Several corporate businesses, organizations, and financial institutions were invited to participate. Mr. Chairman, further to advance the UN Joint Program in August of 2024, the Ministry, in collaboration with UN Women Multi-Country Office, Caribbean, and BEDC, launched an initiative calling for specialized and experienced business service providers to offer their business and technical expert services to women, persons with disabilities, and youth entrepreneurs in need to help contribute to the growth and sustainability of their business. These services were in the areas of accounting, financial services, digitalization, and e-commerce. A total of 18 women entrepreneurs benefited from this opportunity. A first of its kind in Bermuda, assisted many women entrepreneurs to bridge gaps they identified in their businesses, but at the time could not financially afford technical and business services. This initiative empowered these women to develop new ideas and skills, ensuring that they do not get left behind as women business owners. Mr. Chairman, as part of the UN Joint Program Building Back Equal through innovative financing for gender equality and women's empowerment, the Ministry, BEDC, UNDP, and UN Women, in collaboration with the Founders Institute, the world's largest pre-seed startup accelerator, advanced this initiative Rise and Scale. Bermuda Business Accelerator. This initiative aimed to foster an inclusive entrepreneurial ecosystem in Bermuda through a 5-week intensive accelerator program that was offered from September to November 2024 and aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Mr. Chairman, the Founder Institute recruited 21 entrepreneurs in Bermuda, referred to as founders, comprising 20 women, inclusive of one with a disability and one youth. These Bermuda founders had the opportunity to have 16 mentors who actively engaged with the founders during the program. During the 5-week program, the founders engaged in areas such as developing revenue and business models, business pitch development, preparing their business to go market, scaling their business, mentor feedback, and reviewing potential funding needed from investors. Mr. Chairman, the ministry hosted a 5-week program, Rise and Scale, Bermuda Business Accelerator 2024 Pitch Forum on October 17, 2024 at the HSBC Harborview Center. This provided a forum for 11 Bermuda founders to pitch their businesses to investors and international partners during a live recording. This event allowed the business owners to showcase Bermuda's emerging role as a hub for impactful and inclusive business growth. The winner of the pitch forum, Mrs. Antonia Holder, the owner of DigiRoo and Kids Digital Wellness, was given the opportunity to attend the annual Founder X conference held in Texas, USA in March 2025. Mr. Chairman, in October of 2024, the Bermuda UN Joint Program concluded. As a country, much was accomplished to empower the Bermuda community in advancing gender equality and sustainable development through government departments, agencies, banks, entrepreneurs, NGOs, and the general public. This program laid a strong foundation for the continued growth to empower vulnerable sectors within our community, specifically women, persons with disabilities, and youth entrepreneurs. Mr. Chairman, the UN Joint Program with Bermuda aligned with government's commitment to advance gender affairs and uphold its obligation to the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination. During this upcoming year, the ministry will explore opportunities for sustainability by offering women empowerment principles training, hosting an annual Rise and Scale Bermuda Business Accelerator and Pitch, and creating a platform to provide professional services to women, persons with disabilities, and youth to ensure the sustainability of the joint program. This will help Bermuda to further achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals, in particular, goal number 5, gender equality, goal number 8, decent work and economic growth, and goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Mr. Chairman, on October 10, 2024, Bermuda became the first overseas territory to have the United Kingdom extend the Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, something as a country we should be extremely proud of. This achievement signifies a journey that has been years in the making, which fulfills the pledge made by the government in its 2020 speech from the throne to seek the extension to ensure persons with disabilities, irrespective of their type of disability, can enjoy fundamental human rights and freedoms. This extension safeguards the rights, dignity, and full participation of more than 3,000 persons living with disabilities in Bermuda, which the government remains committed to. Mr. Chairman, the UK extension signifies the strengthening of protections of all persons living with disabilities in Bermuda and secures their rights to civil, economic, political, social rights, and freedoms enjoyed by all other members of our society. By working together, Bermuda would continue to comply with the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and be able to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, particularly SDG 3, good health and well-being, Sustainable Development Goal 5, quality education, Sustainable Development Goal 8, decent work and economic growth, Sustainable Development Goal 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, Sustainable Development Goal 10, reduce inequalities, Sustainable Development Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities, and Sustainable Development Goal 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Mr. Chairman, the National Child Safeguarding Committee is a statutory body that was established under Section 11A of the Children's Act of 1998 to carry out specific functions to combat sexual exploitation and abuse of children, to uphold its statutory duty in its areas of combating sexual exploitation and abuse of children in Bermuda, and in alignment with the committee's national policy for working together to safeguard children. A subcommittee was formed to conduct research and make recommendations to close identified gaps that hinder the existing recruitment screening process for persons seeking employment or volunteer work with children directly. For example, nursery school teachers, or indirectly a school custodian. Mr. Chairman, the subcommittee has reviewed Bermuda's current position on recruitment screening processes for persons working or volunteering with children, and is undertaking a jurisdictional review of countries such as the UK, Australia, and Jamaica to provide insight on how these countries conduct their recruitment screening processes when working with vulnerable populations like children. These recommendations will be presented to the National Child Safeguarding Committee at large this fiscal year for discussion and further direction. Mr. Chairman, during the past year, the ministry promoted its services and programs directly associated with social protection efforts for seniors and persons with disabilities through radio talk shows, Let's Get Social, The Golden Hour, in-person meetings, and various senior clubs and churches, at guest speaking events and proclamations, which included International Day of Persons with Disabilities, World Homeless Day, International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, Human Rights Day, International Women's Day. Mr. Chairman, the ministry has demonstrated that during the past year, the public purse was steered towards direct investment supporting our community and all persons across their lifespan from birth to death. Mr. Chairman, I will now move on to the summary of fiscal year 2025-26 current account budget estimate for the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors, which is found on page B290 of the approved estimates of revenue expenditure for the year 2025-26. The ministry's total budget estimate for the fiscal year 2025-26 is $91,274,000.
Members, we remain in the Committee of Supply for further consideration of the estimates and revenue and expenditure for the year 25-26. The Honorable Minister, Tanae Furbett, the Minister of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors. And just members, as a further reminder, this debate is for 4 hours. It began at 10:30 exact, am I correct? 10:30 exact. And so we'll be going for 4 hours. And at 12:30, we'll be taking a break. Minister, you can resume.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this represents an increase of $5,979,000, or 7% compared to the original estimate of $85,295,000 for fiscal year 2024-25. Mr. Chairman, the breakdown of the ministry's current account budget estimate for 2025-26 by head, as shown on page B290, is as follows. Head 86, Ministry Headquarters, 14.11 million, a 23% increase. Head 23, Child and Family Services, approximation 21 million, a 7% increase. Head 55, Financial Assistance, approximately 56 million, an increase of 4%. Overall, ministry total 91.2 million, increase of 7%. Mr. Chairman, this summary shows that the 2025-26 current expenditure allocations for all heads within the ministry have increased. I will explain the details of these increases further in this budget presentation.
Go right ahead, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The current account expenditure for Head 86, Ministry Headquarters, can be found on pages B290 to B293 of the estimate book. The Ministry Headquarters is responsible for a budget of 10 business units, 960,000 administration, 96040 aging and disability services, 96050 Kmart Carter Center, 96060 policy development, 96070 grants to the third sector, 96080 youth office, 96090 youth grants and investments, 96100 youth community centers, 96110 before, after, and out of school programs, and 96120 youth policy. Mr. Chairman, the mission of the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors Headquarters, found on page B291, is the protection of all individuals during their lifetime and facilitation of well-being. The 5 objectives of the Ministry Headquarters are also found on page B291. Mr. Chairman, the general summary of the ministry's budget on page B291 shows that the budget total allocation for the Ministry Headquarters for fiscal year 2025-26 is $14,111,000, distributed amongst the 10 business units, representing a net increase of $2,617,000. I will now share details of each of these business units, commencing with business unit 96,000.
Go right ahead, Minister.
Administration. Mr. Chairman, the 2025-26 budget for administration business unit 96,000 of $1,625,000 compares to the $1,352,000 originally budgeted for fiscal year 2024-25. This reflects an increase of $273,000, or a 20% increase, as shown on page B291, which primarily accounts for salary uplifts to substantive staff resulting from union negotiation agreements, an increase in rental fees, and the cost of materials and supplies. Business Unit 96040, Aging and Disability Services, ADS. Mr. Chairman, I now present the budget for Business Unit 96040, Aging and Disability Services, or ADS, which can be found on page B291. Mr. Chairman, ADS has been allocated a budget of $1,902,000 for fiscal year 2025-26. This allocation is 43% or $570,000 more than the budget allocation for fiscal year 2024-25. This increase includes the mid-year supplementary funding of $120,000. Mr. Chairman, Aging and Disability Services continues to lead the planning and coordination of policy and programs for the protection of seniors and individuals with disabilities. In October 2024, Bermuda reaffirmed its commitment to disability rights by ratifying the Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Reinforcing the ministry's efforts in this area, the Disability Advisory Council, DAC, of which ADS is an ex officio member, continues to work alongside community organizations advocating for the advancement of efforts aimed at improving the lives of persons with disabilities and reviewing government policy to provide feedback and advice from a disability perspective. Mr. Chairman, the ministry fulfilled its 2021 through speech commitment with the launch of the National Disability Register mobile app on April 24th at 2024 at City Hall. The register serves as a centralized source of accurate, up-to-date data to inform programming and support in areas such as health, education, and employment. To date, 102 individuals have registered, and ADS remains focused on increasing its participation. Mr. Chairman, the National Disability Register app allows aging and disability services to collect, store, and manage critical data on persons with disabilities, which is accessible on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Mr. Chairman, the introduction of the National Disability Register is a pivotal step and underscores the government's commitment to persons with disabilities by upholding the Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities and achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 10, reduce inequalities. Mr. Chairman, following the extension of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in October 2024, and in line with the 2025 throne speech, ADS commenced a review of Bermuda's existing legislative framework for disability rights and inclusion. This initiative champions the rights of individuals with disabilities to access the same opportunities and services as everyone else, ensuring dignity, autonomy, and inclusion for all, and ultimately a more equitable society. Mr. Chairman, additionally, under this broader policy and program remit, ADS is also responsible for processing duty relief exemption requests for materials to facilitate persons aging at home and for medical or adaptive equipment in relation to disability conditions. To that end, ADS received and approved 8 duty relief exemptions this past year compared to 2 in 2024-25. We are keen to advance the uptake of this exemption relief over the coming fiscal year through collaborative initiatives. Mr. Chairman, a significant achievement was the completion of the National Senior Strategy 2024 to 2030, a first for Bermuda in fulfilling the government's 2020 throne speech commitment. The National Senior Strategy is a framework to ensure Bermuda's seniors and future generations age with dignity, developed in collaboration with the Bermuda Health Council with extensive consultation. The National Senior Strategy was launched in December of 2024. It addresses seniors' challenges while highlighting opportunities to enhance well-being, health, and quality of life. The strategy emphasizes a collaborative approach across all sectors to create an age-friendly Bermuda. In February 2025, ADS advertised for a project manager to establish and implement the infrastructure and steer the National Senior Strategy, along with coordinating the development of a long-term care action that falls under this broader strategy. Mr. Chairman, while recruitment of the project manager is still in progress, this has not delayed the commitment and commencement of critical work under the National Senior Strategy within the remit of this ministry. During the past fiscal year, several national policy and program initiatives have already been initiated that include the establishment of a long-term care working group, The ministry is working in partnership with the Ministry of Health and other key stakeholders. A working group was established to facilitate both immediate and long-term solutions facing the long-term care sector, focusing on the current community and hospital bed crisis. Amendments to the Seniors Abuse Register Act 2008. The drafting of amendments to the 2008 Act is in progress to help strengthen and clarify existing authority and intervention options and lay the foundation of a legislative framework needed for adult protection. Development of an integrative care pathway for dementia. The ministry contracted with the Bermuda Health Council to conduct research and stakeholder engagement to identify current local practice, service availability and gaps, international best practices, and viable local solutions for quality dementia prevention, diagnosis, and care. The council will produce a proposed integrated care pathway to streamline, standardize, and enhance current dementia care and support. This is part of the ministry's commitment to address dementia and a key focus on the National Senior Strategy. Collaboration on the development of an Office of Public Guardian. ADS is working with the Ministry of Justice to ensure high-risk welfare cases are managed under the appropriate entity and to address the broader needs of the community in this area. This service is critical for our community, and a pilot program will be developed to help define the scope and role of the Office of Public Guardian will hold. The development of a seniors daycare facility. The initiative aims are to enhance quality of life and reduce social isolation among seniors, particularly those with dementia or cognitive impairments, alleviate financial, physical, emotional stress on caregivers through structured programs and services, and provide on-site best practice training in dementia care for healthcare professionals and students. Mr. Chairman, the Gilbert Institute School site was identified as the location for the facility. Enhancing accessibility and implementing robust safety measures will be key to ensuring the facility meets the needs of seniors and promotes their independence. Additionally, incorporating sensory-friendly elements in both indoor and outdoor spaces will create a therapeutic environment conducive to their care. On page C8, capital development, a total of $1.5 million has been allocated this fiscal year to hire an architectural firm and start the building design for this project. A project manager has already been identified and engaged, and the ministry is actively collaborating with the Ministry of Public Works to advance the project. Mr. Chairman, education and awareness is another important component to ensure our community knows how to protect itself from senior abuse, plans for their future, support inclusion, and uphold disability rights, and identify and locate available services and supports to meet their needs. During the last fiscal year, ADS held 19 education and awareness events, well exceeding its projected number. This includes a second annual Seniors Tea held in June of 2024, which successfully hosted over 100 seniors. The theme of the tea for seniors was dementia prevention and support, with presenters from Dementia Bermuda and North Star Dementia. The feedback from participants and partner agencies was extremely positive and again resulted in invitations for further community engagement. I would like to acknowledge and thank the generosity of our partners who made the event possible, including the Bermuda Police Service, who volunteered to serve our seniors at the event, the Open Door Christian Assembly for offering their hall and equipment at no cost, and the Northlands Primary School Choir for an uplifting performance. Other community awareness activities during the past year included radio and podcast interviews on tips to prevent abuse, understanding domestic abuse and gender-based violence, Domestic Violence Day proclamation and awareness event that ADS helped to co-organize and participated as a member of the MOROC. Presentations to organizations on abuse prevention, including but not limited to HSBC customers, focusing on scam prevention, Chamber of Commerce members on senior abuse and domestic violence, as well as abuse prevention tips to 4 senior clubs, and at the Age Concerned annual info session. and recognition of the United Nations Day for Persons with Disabilities on December 3rd to promote the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities in all realms of society and help to increase awareness of the challenges they face. The theme for 2024 was amplifying the leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable future. An awareness raising event took place at City Hall, including a ministerial proclamation and speeches by leaders in our community, including Sasha Richardson, chair of the Disability Advisory Council, Lisa Reed, executive director of the Human Rights Commission, Sherry Lynn Lilly, founder of Inspire, and Soleil Thomas, a member of Special Olympics. The primary message shared was "Nothing about us is without us," which emphasizes the critical importance of people with disabilities being in the room as leaders to help shape inclusive futures. Mr. Chairman, case management represents the primary program under ADS Business Unit 96040. Case management clients include seniors and persons over the age of 18 years old with long-standing disabling conditions and are divided into general case management and adult protection services. General case management services include needs and service identification and system navigation and support coordination. Adult protection pertains to seniors and persons with disabilities who are at risk of abuse, neglect, or self-neglect. The team strives to provide compassion and accountable support to members of the community as needed. Mr. Chairman, in 2024-25, ADS had a total of 389 cases, an 18% increase from the previous year. Of these cases, 228 were general case management cases, including 26 cases of persons under 65 years of age, of which 8 included abuse allegations. The remainder of the total cases of senior abuse referrals, totaling 161 reports received, the reports identified were categorized as 35% for physical abuse, 28% for financial exploitation, 23% for psychological abuse, 11% for neglect, and 3% for sexual abuse. Of these reports received to date, 24 were substantiated, 54 were unsubstantiated, 22 are pending as they are still under investigation. The increase of senior abuse cases and decrease in general case management cases for persons over 65 years compared to previous years and projections is due to changes in how data is logged and reported. However, overall, the trend remains as expected, that the number of reports and case management by this office is increasing each year due to an aging population and increased awareness of the ADS service. Mr. Chairman, over the course of the last year, the case management program made key advancements internally and maintained key external partnerships to strengthen our response to the needs of persons with disabilities and seniors from an adult protection and general case management perspective. ADS continues as a core member on key committees, including MOROC, the Multi-Agency Risk Assessment Committee for High-Risk Domestic Violence Cases, to be discussed further in another section in this brief. SART, the Sexual Assault Response Team, the transition team established to help identify and plan for service needs for persons working with intellectual disabilities as they age, and the long-term care working group. Mr. Chairman, for fiscal year 2025-26, ADS continued the development of a structured decision-making framework, completing the first phase. This framework will help staff with consistent decision-making, but also generate necessary data to further develop the programs. ADS contracted Evident Change, a US-based company specializing in this field. The first phase of this project, consisting of the intake and safety assessments, including the tools, development, integration, and certification in the case management software, testing, and staff training. The second phase is a strength and needs assessment tool, which should commence development in the second half of this upcoming fiscal year. Page C15, capital acquisitions show that $103,000 has been budgeted this year for continued work to build the case management system. Mr. Chairman, professional development is critical to the practice of social work and training and educational opportunities. During 2024-25, 2 staff members attended the National Adult Protection Association Conference in New Mexico. This conference brings together U.S.-based practitioners for 3 days of presentations and information sessions on best practices and promising practices in adult protection. Another 2 staff members completed the older person domestic violence training, an intensive 5-day specialized online course for experienced practitioners under the Safe Lives curriculum. Mr. Chairman, in September 2024, as part of the mid-year supplementary funding, a hardship fund of $120,000 was allocated for case management support. These funds were used for critical services or interventions required to ensure the safety or welfare of seniors. To date, this has included grocery carts, cleaning services, where the state of the home was preventing care services from entering, and temporary emergency funding support. The intent is to target a portion of funds for a specified pilot program based on needs identified, such as hearing aids and hearing tests for seniors. Mr. Chairman, as a result of the ministry's commitment to dementia support services, a dementia pilot program managed by ADS commenced in October of 2023, with funding extended in a 6-month increment up to June of 2025. As recently presented in a House of Assemblies ministerial statement between September 2023 and December 2024, a total of $96,000 was allocated to the Dementia Service Pilot Program. The funds contributed to the provision of dementia needs assessments and case management services to 111 persons in the community. This service provides critical support to families and individuals with dementia due to the long-term degenerative nature of the condition, the impact it has on support persons, and challenges experienced with navigating a complicated and incomplete care pathway. In addition, this program has also greatly benefited the ADS case management program, whose high caseload limits their support for these clients and families in general. The pilot program is reaching its capacity, requiring more sustainable and systemic solutions, which the ministry is engaging in. Business Unit 9650, K. Margaret Carter Center. Mr. Chairman, the K. Margaret Carter Center provides direct support for individuals with intellectual disabilities in the community through comprehensive day program services and case management. For the fiscal year 2025-26, on page B291, the K. Margaret Carter Center has a budget allocation of $2,343,000. This budget funds 12 program staff, 2 bus drivers, 3 administrative operations staff, and 3 service providers who all assist in the delivery of services to 39 clients at KMCC. Mr. Chairman, this past year, KMCC continued to provide programs 5 days per week to service users across 6 client groups, with programs and staff development efforts taking place in the following areas. The continuation of a once-weekly hot lunch program that promotes client involvement in the preparation of meals, affording 29 participating clients access to quality meals in response to reports of poor nutrition and growing concerns of food insecurity amongst the client population. Regular bake sales promoting culinary and vocational skills development amongst participating clients. 17 clients successfully demonstrated an improvement in life skill goals exceeding their established target. Achieving the target outcomes of increasing client fitness initiatives from 5 to 6, including water aerobics, walking, track and fields, chair yoga, soccer, and aerobics. Participation in key events such as the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, proclamation, a Motown Christmas musical put on by the clients with staff support, and the annual Mates and Dates Valentine's Dance hosted in collaboration with the Mid-Atlantic Wellness Institute, Community Intellectual Disability Team, and Carter House Charity. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman.
Go right ahead, Minister.
Expanded involvement with community stakeholders increased from 13 to 15, surpassing the targeted goal and enhancing the quality of programming by offering additional engagement opportunities for service users. Continuation of both a monthly multidisciplinary team meeting as well as a monthly transition team meeting that included involvement from community partners to better understand and respond to support requirements of current and potential clients. Increased compliance with first aid, OSHA standards by ensuring that 100% of staff are first aid and CPR certified. Ongoing efforts to increase compliance with fire safety and emergency standards, including gathering estimates on upgraded comprehensive monitoring systems that would allow for a more effective response to emergency situations that arise. Identification of the need to expand programs to allow for a seniors group for clients aged 55 and older with intellectual disabilities who would largely benefit from structured and supportive engagement activities that are less rigorous than other client groups. Identification of the need to expand staffing resources to include an additional case manager, paraprofessional, and nurse to provide more comprehensive services. Mr. Chairman, it is important to note that the King Margaret Carter Center has undergone a leadership transition, with the administrator post becoming vacant in November of 2024. As of the latter part of January 2025, this position has been temporarily filled by an acting administrator, while recruitment continues for a substantive appointment. Despite the absence of a permanent administrator, there has been specific program enhancements which have already been implemented. These include restructuring the program format to establish 7 distinct core programs, each with clearly defined criteria for engagement, group function, and mandate, and a set maximum client capacity with consideration of the level of support needs within each group, development of a safeguarding policy and a behavioral support policy to better align KMCC's practices with international standards, establishment of a formalized entry and exit criteria to assess the needs of potential clients and ensure that KMCC has the appropriate resources to provide effective support. Engagement in professional development focused on psychological safety in the workplace aimed at fostering a more cohesive and supportive environment for staff, which in turn benefits client care. Facilitation of a comprehensive program design consultation process involving staff, parents, guardians, and clients to evaluate the program's strengths, identify service gaps, and explore opportunities for ongoing development and improvement. Mr. Chairman, the King Margaret Carter Center received a mid-year supplementary funding of $668,930, which has played a critical role in enhancing its service delivery and supporting ongoing development efforts. This funding has directly enabled hiring an additional case manager, a paraprofessional to improve staff-client ratios, and a nurse and behavioral specialist, expanding the daycare hours at KMCC from 3 p.m. to 5:45 for those parents and guardians who worked until 5 p.m. and needed the extended care for their loved ones. Renovations of the former woodwork room to create an appropriate space for a specialized day program for its clients who have aged and now are seniors. And on page C8 Capital Development, $45,000 has been budgeted for this upcoming year to cover these requisite renovations. Mr. Chairman, we remain committed to ongoing development efforts that directly benefit clients while promoting overall well-being and quality of life. Mr. Chairman, I will move on to Business Unit 96060, Policy Development, page B291 for fiscal year 2025-26, $157,000 was allocated for policy development. This is an increase of $2,000, reflecting a salary uplift offset for one of the full-time equivalents, as shown on page B293. This policy resource supports the ministry's policy commitments, which includes throne speech and the government's platform initiatives. Mr. Chairman, $3,695,000 has been allocated for fiscal year 2025-26 for Business Unit 96070 grants to the third sector, as shown on page B291. This is an increase of $590,000 or 19%, reflecting the inclusion of a grant funding for the Teen Services and Teen Haven, which have shifted from the Department of Child and Family Services to the ministry headquarters, where all other third sector grants lie. Mr. Chairman, I will now present the fiscal year 2025-26 estimates of expenditure and revenue for the Office of Youth Affairs, which can be found on pages B291 and B292 of the estimates book.
Very well, Minister. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, as shown on page B291, the total 2025-26 budget allocation for all youth programs, youth development, youth outreach, youth services, and youth policy is $4,389,000, an increase of $729,000, an increase of 20%. Mr. Chairman, the allocated budget for fiscal year 2025-26 is $691,000. This reflects an increase of $75,000 or 12%, as shown on page B291. Mr. Chairman, within this youth development program, $556,000 will cover Business Unit 96080. This allocation is $40,000 higher, or 8% more than in 2024-25. These allocated funds provide for salaries, training, recreational services, supplies, and other funds to ensure the operations of the youth office, which is now relocated to Veritas Place, 5th floor, 65 Court Street, Hamilton. Mr. Chairman, the allocated budget for business units 6090, grants and investments is $135,000. This is an increase of $35,000 or 35% compared to 2024-25. This funding is vital for youth-focused organizations and groups working to develop and empower young people. In 2024-25, in collaboration with the Department of Child and Family Services, Toya co-hosted a Safeguarding Child Protection workshop for youth organizations that receive grants to inform them about governing policies and legislation. This training affords grantees an opportunity for improvement through awareness and aligns with Goal 1.2 of the National Youth Policy work with youth-focused organizations to ensure they have a safeguarding policy in place. Mr. Chairman, the budget allocation for Business Unit 96100 Youth Community Centers is $1,713,000. An increase of $135,000 or 9% compared to 2024-25. These monies will cover the cost of operations for the 3 community centers as the Eastern Zone Community Center in St. George, the Sammy Wilson Central Zone Community Center in Hamilton, and the Western Zone Community Center in Sands. The increase in funding of $135,000 is attributed to expanding hours of work for the community workers to support parents and guardians who work shift hours and need to have their children in a safe environment. Many parents and guardians working in the restaurant and retail sectors in the city that close at 9 p.m. or later require suitable evening care. As a result of this need, the Central Zone Community Center team designed a program that provides school pickup services, assists children with homework, project assignments, life skills, and meal plans. This resource proved viable, and in the fall will expand to assist parents and guardians working in the healthcare and uniform services. The Western Zone Community Center extended its operational hours on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays to support its surrounding community. The additional operational hours provide safe spaces for young people to have healthy engagement through sport, recreation, and dining. This initiative is designed to engage the whole family, featuring friendly competition that facilitates gaming for all ages. The Eastern Zone Community Center highlights the importance of supporting our aging population through its programming, which is centered around the preservation of matriarchs and patriarchs in their community. Many of the activities offered at the Eastern Zone Community Center are designed to ensure interaction between seniors and youth through the form of storytelling tales of old Bermuda. These interactions aim to teach our young youth respect and lessons by embracing the words and wisdom of our treasured seniors. This setting also allows for our youth to share their aspirations and educational pursuits to gain advice from our seniors. Mr. Chairman, the Youth Community Centers have 20 full-time equivalents for fiscal year 2025-26, shown on page B293. These workers facilitate a variety of community enrichment programs for seniors, adults, youth, and children, providing engaging activities for the whole family that promotes this section's aim in empowering youth, families, and our communities. Mr. Chairman, Business Unit 96110, before, after, out-of-school programs have been allocated a budget of $1,802,000, shown on page B291. This is an increase of 23%, or $336,000. In comparison to fiscal year 2024-25, this increase reflects adjustments made to salaries, communications, materials, and supplies for 15 youth programs. The objective of youth services is to provide safe spaces for youth during periods of the year when schools are closed or not in operation due to school midterm or holiday breaks. The youth programs facilitate engagement that infuses developmentally appropriate activities to deter youth from antisocial behavior. Additionally, there is a renewed commitment to the care and employ of the neurodivergent population. Mr. Chairman, during 2024-25, youth services supported approximately 550 preschool, primary, middle school age participants in the after-school program, 1,650 preschool, primary, middle school participants in the out-of-school programs across the island. There are a total of 28 full-time equivalents committed to these programs, an increase of 8% compared to 2024-25, shown on page B293. Just over 60 seasonal workers are employed with youth services, and just under half are local college students. This employment supports the advancement of Goal 4 in the youth policy, which is to increase youth employment opportunities. Mr. Chairman, for fiscal year 2025-26, $183,000 has been allocated to Business Unit 96120 Youth Policy, shown on page B291. The budget is designated for salaries, workshop facilitation, conference materials, and supplies. Mr. Chairman, this program is responsible for the coordination of the National Youth Policy and the execution of activities to progress the policy. The working group for the policy is in its third year of implementation of the 8 policy goals on developing and empowering Bermuda's youth. The working group consists of a cross-section of individuals representing the public and private sector, youth organizations, youth activists, youth creatives, and entrepreneurs, supported by the Office of Youth Affairs. There is one full-time equivalent, as shown on page B293, responsible for technical advice and support to the working group for advancing the national youth policy priorities. Mr. Chairman, the performance measures for the Office of Youth Affairs can be found on page B295 to B296, of which all target outcomes were met during 2024-2025. Mr. Chairman, Business Unit 96090 funded 15 grants to youth organizations and groups in 2024-25. These organizations have invested countless hours into the development of Bermuda's youth and include Amber Wings. This program aligns with the National Youth Policy Goal number 2 and 8 by supporting young people to be well prepared socially, emotionally, and academically for post-secondary success, ensuring equal access to opportunities and resources. Big Brothers, Big Sisters. The program aligns with National Youth Policy Goals 1 and 3 by providing quality mentoring support to young people in need to help them reach their full potential through social development. Connect Tech Coding. This program provides safe spaces and places for young people to socialize and develop, supporting young people to be well prepared academically for post-secondary success, develop their skills in technology, and promote Bermuda's young people core skills and competencies aligning with Bermuda's employment needs and the National Youth Policy Goal 1, 2, and 4. Children's Reading Festival. This initiative, designed for children up to the age of 14, provides free books and activities to promote literacy. The purpose of the festival is to encourage children to enjoy reading, inspire imagination and creativity through fine arts, and provides access to resources for parents, ensuring support for children goes beyond the event. The festival aligns with the National Youth Policy Goal 2 by providing opportunity to support children in achieving their full potential in learning, development, and education. Delta Gems provides activities and supports developing girls ages 14 to 18 to reach their goals, which aims to prepare them socially, emotionally, and academically for post-secondary success, which aligns with the National Youth Policy Goal 2 and 3. Delta NetFest engages young girls in sport and connects them to physical and mental health professionals, which promotes the advancement of National Youth Policy Goal 5 to encourage youth in sport, culture, and recreation, and Goal 6 to support young people to be active and healthy. The Bermuda Overseas Foundation. This program aligns with National Youth Policy Goal 3 and 4, in that mentorship and support are provided to at-risk youth, which provides skills and encouragement to steer them away from antisocial behavior. Bermuda Sea Cadet Association aligns with the National Youth Policy Goal 5 and 6 by offering a range of developmentally appropriate community sports and recreation programs, which encourage young people to establish a healthy balance in their lives. DEBA Dream prepares young people with the skills needed to assist them in attaining post-secondary success and provides support through a STEAM-based program in sport. This program aligns with the National Youth Policy Goal 2 and 5. Footy Promotions. This program aligns with National Youth Policy Goal 5 by providing developmentally appropriate community sports programs that are fun to young people and encourages the engagement of parents and guardians in physical activity with their children. Phenomenal People, supporting young people to be prepared socially, emotionally, and academically for post-secondary success through young people's contributions to public dialogue, such as providing their views on proposed government policies, and supports Goal 2 and 7 in the National Youth Policy. Raleigh International aligns with National Youth Policy Goal 3 and 5 by providing mentorship and support to empower at-risk youth through training that provides knowledge and skills to young people and their families. Skills Development. This program supports young people to be prepared socially, emotionally, and academically for post-secondary success and ensures that young people have access to increased tertiary education and vocational training in support of Goals 2 and 4 of the National Youth Policy. Family Center, which provides various programs and services in a safe place for our young people and provides young people an opportunity to contribute towards public dialogue by exercising their voice to express views on issues within the community, such as government policies, and suggest on proposed policies and programs aligning with National Youth Policy Goal 1. WinReach provides support and services to enrich the quality of life for young people with diverse support needs by providing a safe environment for young people free from discrimination and ensures equal access to opportunities and resources supporting National Youth Policy Goal 8. During 2025, the Office of Youth Affairs will continue to support organizations that are committed to making impactful change to empower Bermuda's youth. Additionally, Mr. Chairman, during 2024-2025, 2 youth investments aligned with the National Youth Policy Goal 5.3 were given as a short-term sponsorship to young people who wish to pursue their recreational passions in areas including the arts, culinary arts, science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. The first two recipients to receive this sponsorship were Carter Murray, an 8-year-old prodigy student at the Bermuda Institute who showed proficiency in math and represented Bermuda in the All USA calculation contest. He was the only international student to participate. Christian Warren, a 17-year-old who's determined to become Bermuda's youngest commercially licensed pilot to fly at 25 years old. He completed flight school training last summer. These hours will go towards his commercial pilot license. Mr. Chairman, the Office of Youth Affairs performance measures shown on pages B295 and 296 provide evidence of a productive year. The performance quality inquiries were executed at the end of every term, meeting the targets to ensure markers could be identified for program improvements. The community enrichment program courses and participants exceeded the count forecasts for the introduction of mindfulness engagement. The National Youth Policy Working Group met regularly last year, surpassing the target due to additional meeting sets for consultation with overseas partners and to review research on the formation of a youth council. The number of youth platforms exceeded expectations with the introduction of additional schools to the in-zone rota. Mr. Chairman, during the past year, there were opportunities created to engage young people and show appreciation for those who work with them. The first ever middle school mashup was held April 18, 2024, whereas eligible students participated in the Day of Extreme Sports to develop and enhance team building skills. This event provided Toya with an opportunity to gain invaluable insight on how to retain the engagement of young people. From April 22nd to 26, 2024, the team acknowledged staff during the after-school program professional week with activities that gave clients and the public opportunities to express their appreciation. The Toya team had an opportunity to reach the wider community at the Bermuda Day 2024 and introduce the Office of Youth Affairs through an interactive game called Finding Toya, which enabled the public to gain a better understanding and appreciation for the goals and objectives of the National Youth Policy, the alignment of Toya's services, and how all residents can become involved. The National 18+ Youth Conference and activities were held from July 15th to the 21st, 2024. Intentionally unconventional, this allowed for interaction with young people across the island. The Toya teams promoted the National Youth Policy goals during evening socials, county games, talks with radio personalities, and across all social media platforms. On August 12, 2024, International Youth Day was observed with a proclamation to declare the government's commitment to youth by establishing the entity Youth Affairs. An anti-bullying week campaign culminated on the steps of City Hall from November 11th to the 15th of 2024 with testimonies to bring awareness to eradicate the antisocial behaviors associated with bullying. The National Mini Youth Conference, Big Up Yourself and Your Mental Health, was held on January 30th and 31st of 2025 at the Botanical Gardens. This two-day event yielded the presence of over 200 students participating in workshops and mindfulness activities. A Neurodiversity Week awareness campaign held in March 17th to the 21st of 2025 was a soft launch to the expansion of services within the before and after and out-of-school program. This engagement has fostered public and private collaboration, which will assist Toya with better equipping program facilitators. Mr. Chairman, youth outreach through the community centers successfully ran over 90 community enrichment programs for 3 terms, September to November, January to March, and April to June. These programs focus on social development of the whole family, engaging seniors, youth, adults, and children. Mr. Chairman, after a year of research and consultation pilot program assessment, the Before School program successfully launched 2 additional programs at the Elliott and Francis Patton Primary School. This service is critical for parents, guardians who must attend work early hours before the school day commences. Mr. Chairman, the employees at the Office of Youth Affairs, known as Team Toya, are to be congratulated for the setup of their new office. This team is committed to serving Bermuda's young people, looks forward to collaborating with youth organizations and groups. The synergy is vital to keeping our young people motivated and maximizing their skills and talents. Mr. Chairman, this concludes the presentation on fiscal year 2025-26 budgetary allocations for Head 86, Section the Office of Youth Affairs.
Thank you very much, Minister. We remain in Committee of Supply for further consideration of the estimates and revenue and expenditure for the year 25-26. We've just completed Head 86. We're doing 23 and Head 20 and 55. Go ahead, Minister. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'm actually going to
Where are you
read
going,
the
Minister?
breakdown of the budget allocation
go right
for
ahead, Minister.
C21 of the estimates book. Following, the charities and organizations will receive a grant from the Ministry of Youth, Social Development and Seniors to provide our community with the resources and social services needed to support our vulnerable population groups. Grants to external bodies has been allocated $220,000 for an ad hoc request made by social service organizations during the year, youth organizations as well as voluntary youth organizations and national youth choir that provides youth services and programs in alignment with the goals of the National Youth Policy will receive $130,000. Age concern programs consist of information, advice, and referral services via their call center. Other supports and services provided are financial supports for groceries, prescription drugs, and minor home repairs. A grant allocation of $25,000 will be provided to uphold the ministry's commitment to our senior population. Grants totaling $1,170,000 has been allocated to nursing homes Matilda Smith and Lorraine Nursing Home. $75,000 has been allocated to the Women's Resource Center to enhance the lives of women in Bermuda and its vision to be leading resource for the voice for women of Bermuda. And this is actually the Transformational Living Center. The Center Against Abuse will be allocated a grant of $150,000 as they continue to provide crisis support for victims of domestic abuse and sexual assault. Care of the Blind, now known as Vision Bermuda, is the only organization on island to provide a full range of specialist services for persons within our community with low or no vision. They will receive a grant allocation of $30,000. A $50,000 grant has been allocated to Meals on Wheels. Salvation Army, the government is committed to our homelessness population and to ensure they have accommodations and services. A grant of $550,000 will be given to Salvation Army shelters. The Summer Haven facility provides residents of our community who have physical disabilities the opportunity to live independently and will be given a grant of $600,000 to support their operational costs. Packwood Home Nursing Home has been allocated $350,000. The charitable organization Home will receive $70,000 to continue its work with the homeless. Tomorrow's Voices provides services to individuals in our community who are diagnosed with autism or the autism spectrum. A grant of $30,000 has been allocated as financial support. Mr. Chairman, I will now present the combined subjective analysis of current account estimates for the ministry's headquarters as found on page B292 of the estimates book. Mr. Chairman, the budget allocation for salaries is $4,880,000, an increase of $651,000. The salary allocation covers the ministry's 87 full-time equivalents found on page B293. The salary growth reflects increases in the manpower due to the new social sector, such as the Seniors Intellectual Disability Day Program and additional employee costs as a result of the expanded hours of the day care program at the Kmart Carter Center. This increase also is explained by additional funding for negotiated salary uplifts for 2025-26. Mr. Chairman, the increase of the budget allocation for wages of $392,000 supports a cost of living increase for non-unionized youth program workers, coordinators, program supervisors, and program workers, community workers, as well as additional funding for 2 supervisors, all of whom are employed within the Office of Youth Affairs, as well as extra funding has been appropriated for wage uplifts for unionized industrial employees. Mr. Chairman, $56,000 has been allocated to facilitate professional training for employees during fiscal year 2025-26, representing an increase of $43,000. This increase is due to Aging and Disability Services funding a 4-day joint SAFE training course to include other government departments in the forensic interviewing of older persons. Mr. Chairman, $3,000 budgeted for transport for fiscal year 2025-26 is on par with the prior year. The increase of $12,000 for travel is budgeted to cover overseas travel for conferences and technical meetings. Mr. Chairman, communications inclusive of phones, courier, and postal costs is budgeted at $128,000 for fiscal year 2025-26, indicating an increase of $7,000. The increase reflects new expenses for telephone rentals and cell phones for the youth policy section, as well as modest increases by the ministry headquarters and the youth office. Mr. Chairman, advertising and promotion costs increased by $39,000. This increase is attributed to various planned marketing campaigns by Aging and Disability Services on financial abuse and scams committed against vulnerable persons, and by the Office of Youth Affairs to promote year-round recreation and social experiences within the community centers, and to bring awareness of youth initiatives and events planned for the new youth policy section. Mr. Chairman, professional services of $1,658,000 for fiscal year 2025-26 increased by $515,000. This increased level of funding reflects the allocation of monies to fill a social sector's gap and provide specialist domestic abuse perpetrator treatment services. Monies are also included to advance planning and implementation of the National Seniors and Long-Term Care Strategy by the ministry, and also funding for case management coverage and welfare guardian support needed by Aging and Disability Services. Mr. Chairman, $235,000 was budgeted for rentals, an increase of $1,000. This increase represents a reduction in equipment rentals offset by an increase in rented facilities to host workshops and conferences by the new youth policy section and the youth office. Mr. Chairman, in fiscal year 2025-26, repair and maintenance has been allocated $209,000 or $41,000 more than the budget allocation for fiscal year 2024-25. This increase in funding covers the cost of a variety of repair and maintenance expenses anticipated by the community centers, including but not limited to industrial cleaning of floors, minor interior building repairs, pest control, and equipment maintenance. Also, increased funds have been allocated to maintain an aging bus operated by the Kmart Carter Center. Mr. Chairman, $72,000 is budgeted for insurance costs for fiscal year 25-26. The reduction in costs of $42,000 is representative of a decline in the number of clients at the Kmart Carter Center who require HIP insurance coverage. Mr. Chairman, energy costs increased by $27,000 to $181,000. This increase will cover the cost of electricity for the Office of Youth Affairs, which recently moved from a shared rental space to its own office. Mr. Chairman, costs for clothing, uniforms, and laundry accounts for $12,000. The marginal increase of $1,000 will cover the cost to replenish uniform shirts, jackets, protective wear for the caretaker grounds and manning communities in the community program staff. Mr. Chairman, $417,000 has been allocated for materials and supplies for fiscal year 2025-26. This increase of $160,000 reflects the cost of added social sector programs, such as vocational supplies and equipment for the new senior intellectual disability daycare program at the Kmart Carter Center, sports and fitness equipment, educational supplies, and vocational hardware for the extended daycare programs at both the Central and Western Zone community centers, and recreational supplies to facilitate the conference to consultation held by the Office of Youth Affairs. The increased cost will also cover supplies needed for the youth policy section. Mr. Chairman, equipment expenses have an allocation of $26,000, a reduction of $16,000 from fiscal year 24-25. Refurbishment works to fire and safety systems at the 3 community centers were completed in 2024-25, and thus only maintenance works needed to be budgeted for this year. Mr. Chairman, $186,000 has been allocated for other expenses, which is an increase of $66,000 above fiscal year 2024-25. This increase will support new social sector programs such as aging and disability services, Seniors Hardship Fund, which will cover the cost of food, medication, utility bills, or short-term housing for vulnerable persons in crisis, and the Central and Western Zone community centers will provide meals during their extended day programs. Mr. Chairman, the allocation for grants and contributions for fiscal year 25-26 is $3,825,000, an increase of $620,000. The increased budget supports additional funding to youth organizations offered by the Office of Youth Affairs, the new funding for dementia care navigation and intervention services offered by the ministry. Also, the grant funding for teen services and Teen Haven has shifted from the Department of Child and Family Services to the ministry headquarters. Revenue summary, page B292, the majority of $643,000 in revenue earnings reflected after-school vouchers purchased and online payments by parents and guardians to have their children participate in the after-school programs offered by the Office of Youth Affairs. Employee numbers, full-time equivalents on page B293. Mr. Chairman, on page B293, you will note that there are 87 full-time equivalent positions for the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors Headquarters fiscal year 2025-26.
Yes.
This covers 4 full-time equivalents for headquarters administration, 11 full-time equivalents at Aging and Disability Services, 19 full-time equivalents employed with the Kmart Carter Center, 1 full-time equivalent within policy development, and 52 full-time equivalents for the Office of Youth Affairs. Performance measures, pages B294 to B296. Mr. Chairman, performance measures for sections in the ministry headquarters are outlined on pages B294 to B296. Mr. Chairman, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the ministry headquarters team for their diligence and for remaining committed to delivering the requisite services for our community. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my budget presentation for Head 86.
Thank you very much, Minister. Reminder to members that we are in the Committee of Supply for the consideration of estimates and revenue expenditure for the year 25-26. The Minister will proceed through to heads 23 and 55, or as she sees fit. Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now wish to present fiscal year 2025-2026 estimates of expenditure for Head 23.
Go right ahead.
The Department of Child and Family Services, which are found on pages B297 to 303 of the estimates book. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Child and Family Services mission is protecting children by strengthening families. The objectives of the department are found on page B297. The department carries out its objectives by providing investigative services, daycare services, care and protection services for children, residential and home-based services for families, assessment, intervention, and counseling services for children, adolescents, and families. Mr. Chairman, on page B298 of the estimates book, a total of $21,133,000 has been allocated for Head 23 for fiscal year 2025-26. This represents an increase of $1,453,000 or 7%. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Child and Family Services continues to focus on developing an integrated service that allows children, adolescents, and families to receive services that are appropriate and coordinated and meet challenges they face. These challenges can include, but are not limited to, uninvolved parenting, limited parenting capacity, social and life skills, housing, employment, budgeting, abuse of substances, antisocial behavior, cognitive debilities, education, mental health conditions, and anger management. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Child and Family Services is responsible for promoting and protecting the best interests and social well-being of children, adolescents, and their families, and meets these responsibilities with the operations of 5 programs. Program 2301, Services to Children and Young Persons. Program 2302, Services to Individual and Families. Program 2303, Residential Treatment Services. Program 2304, Administration. Program 2305, the Mirrors Program. Mr. Chairman, the U.S. Council on Accreditation has approved the Bermuda National Standards, which is used locally for accreditation of entities, including the department who manages children. The Bermuda National Standards Committee provides that review and accreditation. I'm happy to report that in accordance with the requirements from the Council on Accreditation Standards, 5 sections within DCFS, intake and investigations, assessments, counseling and life skills, family preservation, and foster care are all accredited. Mr. Chairman, service improvements have been achieved by the Department of Child and Family Services, implementing a strategy that begins with the enhancement of a structured decision-making tool designed specifically for Bermuda, taking into account our cultural identity and social norms. The structured decision-making assessment tool allows for staff to objectively determine safety and risk for all children and their families who are referred to the department. This tool utilizes a comprehensive assessment that ensures clients receive the appropriate support and/or services from the appropriate agency. This process reduces referral duplication, closes previously identified gaps in service delivery, and increases overall efficiency and effectiveness of programs. Utilization of this tool has resulted in an improved comprehensive service delivery system that has increased response time to initial referrals. Also, this tool further enhances appropriate prioritizing of referrals according to risk and ensures that the highest risks are addressed first, resulting in better responses and positive outcomes for clients. Mr. Chairman, I will now address each program and business unit for the department as set out on page B298. Mr. Chairman, Business Unit 33010, the Happy Valley Child Care Center, has a budget of $1,200,000 for fiscal year 25-26. The output measures for the Happy Valley Child Care Center are found on page B301 of the estimates book. Mr. Chairman, Happy Valley Child Care Center is the only government-operated child care facility on island, which provides high-quality child care for a maximum of 44 children whose ages range from 3 months to 4 years of age. priority is given to children referred by helping agencies such as the Department of Child and Family Services, Teen Services, the Department of Child Health, the Child Development Program, and Department of Financial Assistance. These agencies, along with families experiencing various challenges, account for 60% of the center's intake. Mr. Chairman, each year there is an increased demand for child care placement at the Happy Valley Child Care Center. For school year 2024-25, 75 applications were received for 15 available spaces. Infant spaces were 5. They had 22 applications. Toddler spaces were 5. There were 40 applications. Toddler spaces for those children born in 2024, there were no spaces. There were no applications. And preschool spaces, 5. Children born in 2022, there were 13 applications. Mr. Chair, when I spoke about the other toddler spaces, 5, these were children born in 2023.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. The application process for 2025-26 school year began on April 3rd, 2025. A PIPA privacy statement was created for this year's applicants. The statement included how application information collected is used, secured, and disposed of. Online applications were released for download once the privacy statement was agreed to. On-site applicants signed the privacy statement prior to the submission of their application. Mr. Chairman, to address concerns regarding the selection process for limited number of spaces available annually, the selection committee has implemented a rubric and lottery system for applicants. This approach is designed to add greater objectivity and transparency, ensuring that all candidates are evaluated fairly and consistently. Mr. Chairman, the Happy Valley Child Care Center's monthly fee is $400 for all children enrolled. However, if a child is in care of the Department of Child and Family Services director, they do not qualify for child daycare allowance, and as such, their costs are absorbed by the department. Mr. Chairman, the estimated revenue for fiscal year 25-26 school year, as shown on page B299, is $192,000. It is important to note that the actual cost per child exceeds $400 per month. However, a subsidy is built into the fees, which are considerably less than private child care facilities. Despite the low cost to parents, Happy Valley Child Care Center is a first-class facility that is specifically designed to meet the comprehensive needs of young children, provide an extensive curriculum of high academic standards with trained teachers who are continuously involved in professional growth and development. The center offers enrichment programs that encourage family and community involvement and builds upon child development. Mr. Chairman, in July of 2024, 17 children graduated from the program and were all well prepared to attend preschool. Their accomplishments were celebrated with a school leaving ceremony at the Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute. Mr. Chairman, in fiscal year 25-26, Happy Valley Child Care Center will continue to uphold its commitment to partnering with community resources, including the Child Development Program, the Department of Health, and Fire and Life Safety Associates. Happy Valley Child Care Center will continue to serve as a community site for public and private school students and the Workforce Development Summer Placement for university students. Happy Valley Child Care Center also serves as a practicum site for the Bermuda College students enrolled in the PACE program for individuals furthering their education in early childhood education. Cedar Bridge Academy students do their child care as a professional course placement annually at the Happy Valley Child Care Center. Mr. Chairman, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the staff at the Happy Valley Child Care Center, the center's active parent-teacher association, volunteers, and community partners for their continued dedication to Bermuda's most valuable treasures. Our children, our future. Mr. Chairman, I will now speak to Program 2302, Services to Individuals and Families, found on page B298.
Go right ahead, Minister.
Mr. Chairman, the activities covered under Program 3202 are Business Unit 33020, Investigating and Screening, Business Unit 33030, Foster Care, Business Unit 33200, Counseling and Life Skills, Business Unit 33240, Child Safeguarding. Mr. Chairman, the estimate for these three business unit for fiscal year 2025-26 for these four is $6,198,000, which represents a decrease of $37,000. Mr. Chairman, intake, investigation, and assessment section is responsible for providing comprehensive investigations and assessments to children who were referred for services. The 2025-26 budget estimate for Business Unit 33020 is $2,245,000, a decrease of 11%. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Child and Family Services provides services and support for children and families referred for abuse or neglect. The department is committed to partnering with stakeholders to promote the safety and health of families while protecting children from abuse and neglect. Mr. Chairman, all referrals that are made to the department are screened to determine if they meet the threshold for abuse and/or neglect, utilizing the structured decision-making assessment tool. The performance measures for intake and assessment can be found on page B301 of the estimates book. Mr. Chairman, the screening, investigations, and assessment teams have a combined total of 16 staff. The screening team is comprised of 5 social worker assistants who receive new referrals each day via email. The kids line or from members of the public or professionals who walk into the department. The investigation team includes 5 social workers who conduct inquiries on all cases screened to be investigated. The assessment team includes 3 social workers who conduct assessments on all children who are referred from sections within the department. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Child and Family Services is mandated to provide services and operates 24 hours a day. Coverage is provided after work hours, weekends, and on public holidays on a crisis basis to the police, the hospital, and to members of the community. The department responded to 22 on-call or call-out referrals in 2024. Mr. Chairman, in 2024, investigations team received 1,210 new referrals. This is an increase of 204, 20%, when 1,006 when 1,006 new referrals were reported. Mandated reporters referred 1,072 and 138 were referred from other sources in the community. Mr. Chairman, the investigations team utilized the structured decision-making screening assessment to determine the required response times. 310 cases were screened out. Either they did not meet the threshold for child abuse investigation, or they were duplicate referrals from another source. 856 were screened for investigation, and 44 were screened directly to the counseling and life skills section for substance education. Referrals for the following types of abuse comprised neglect, 357, 198 or 55% of the neglect referrals were for children exposed to family violence. 51 were for inadequate food, shelter, hygiene, and 64 were for lack of supervision. Sexual abuse, 197, 122 or 61% were sexual abuse referrals for child on child, inappropriate sexual interactions, or child only matters. Physical abuse, 198, an increase of 113. Behavioral problems, 48, an increase of 24. Emotional abuse, 58, a decrease of 2. Service requests, 48, of which 14 were welfare home checks, 12 were local, and 2 overseas. Suicidal ideation attempts, 3. Family in need of assistance, 20. This may be cases of child beyond parental control, AWOL, suicide attempts, and ideation. Mr. Chairman, of the 1,210 new referrals in 2024, 856 were screened in for investigations. 554 involved children. The referral numbers as by age are as follows: 0 to 4, 146; 5 to 9, 165; 10 to 14, 170; 15 to 18, 73; unborn, 7. Mr. Chairman, the department is required to respond within 24 hours, 5 days, or 10 days, depending on the nature of the referral and the designated time frame. The department received 235 referrals that required a 24-hour response. 591 referrals required a 5-day response, and 30 referrals required a 10-day response. 796 out of the 856 cases were screened for investigation, and 93% of them met response times. Mr. Chairman, social workers conduct thorough, objective investigations that include interviewing children, their parents, and other witnesses or collateral contacts who may be relevant sources of information. Social workers must observe the child and their living conditions, the parent and child interactions and relationships, conduct further record checks, and obtain all relevant medical and assessment reports when applicable. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Child and Family Service collaborates with the Bermuda Police Services on referrals received for physical, sexual abuse, severe neglect, and behavioral problems. The MASH team that was established, and this is the multi-agency safeguarding hub between the department and the Bermuda Police Services, continue to review all referrals received every week. In the meeting, the team determines the investigation approach that is required for each case. During 2024, there were 853 cases discussed by the MASH meetings, and 167 were jointly investigated by the Bermuda Police Services and the department. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Child and Family Services is also required to investigate mandated professionals that can include doctors, daycare providers, teachers, coaches, religious officials, and youth leaders if an investigation identifies them as an alleged perpetrator. A total of 60 investigations of professionals were conducted, an increase from 2023, when 23 investigations were carried out. The investigation social workers conduct interviews with the children, their parents or guardians, the mandated professional, and all relevant witnesses. These investigations may also involve the Bermuda Police if a criminal offense may have occurred. Out of the 60 professional investigations conducted, 29 were in public school, 23 were private nurseries, 4 camps, 2 private schools, and 2 residential treatment services. The outcomes were 25 unsubstantiated, 6 substantiated, and 29 remain open with the Bermuda Police Service. 1 case resulted in the conviction of a mandated professional. Mr. Chairman, the investigation social worker completed 524 safety assessments. This engagement with parents allows the department to ensure that the children are safe while working to preserve the integrity of the family. Risk assessments are always completed after conducting a home visit and before a case is transferred or closed. The team completed 319 risk assessments. At the completion of investigations, there were 77 cases in need of case management and referred to the family preservation team. 30 were referred to counseling and life skills, 14 referred to the assessments team, 1 to foster care, 3 to RTS, and 1 to the independent living program. At the end of December 2024, 856 cases screened for investigations in 2024, 709 were completed with outcomes, 128 remain open to the Bermuda Police, and 19 were pending. Mr. Chairman, the investigation team provided 14 presentations on mandatory reporting to the private and public schools, the youth and sport after-school program, Bermuda College students, and to all new employees. These presentations provide professionals with education on the Children's Act, their duties as mandated as mandatory reporters, and reporting process for child abuse matters. Mr. Chairman, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the staff of the screening and investigations team and the community stakeholders for their commitment to being the first response in promoting the safety and health of families while protecting children from abuse and neglect. I would also like to thank the assessment teams for empowering the family and enhancing family functioning through the comprehensive assessments they completed on at-risk children and families. Mr. Chairman, the foster care section of the Department of Child and Family Services, which is Business Unit 33030, is responsible for providing alternate living arrangements for children under the age of 18 years old who need out-of-home placement. The budget estimate for Business Unit 33030 for 25-26 is $2,672,000. This represents an increase of $288,000. Mr. Chairman, during 2024, a total of 61 children occupied foster care beds at some point during the year. This represents an increase of 3 children from the prior year. The team was also responsible for case management duties for the children's birth families and foster families. The team remains concerned about the complexity of cases, which has magnified in terms of mental health, behavioral issues, and school difficulties. During the past year, the foster care program served a total of 7 therapeutic foster children. The children in this category have a variety of physical, cognitive, emotional, and behavioral challenges. The therapeutic foster parents are compensated at a higher rate than traditional foster parents. They sign contracts that outline the levels of care expected based on the children's needs. Out of those 7 children, 2 were referred to overseas facilities for comprehensive assessment and were recommended for further overseas placement. By the end of 2024, a total of 9 children left the foster care program. 3 were reunified with a parent. 3 were transferred to residential treatment services, and 3 aged out of the foster care system. Foster parent recruitment was conducted via several mediums that included developing graphics for social media messaging, conducting radio and web-based talks, using corporate newsletters and features in business magazines. The foster care coordinator interviewed 22 interested persons for foster parent recruitment. This was an increase of 9 from the year before. 10 were approved and became foster parents. Despite the constant addition to the pool of available foster parents, the department continues to remain hard-pressed to recruit enough foster parents to be open, available, and suitable for emergencies and for hard-to-care children. Mr. Chairman, presently, the department has 12 sibling sets residing in foster care, and only 2 sets are able to reside together in the same foster home. In May of 2024, Foster Care Month, the Foster Care team held the annual appreciation tea for Bermuda's foster parents. The keynote speaker was Miss Lashante Asing Dill, who spent time in foster care as a youth and is now a registered nurse. This event was held at the Royal Hamilton Amateur Dinghy Club. The foster care program ended 2024 with Christmas gift donations for all foster children. Items were generously donated from anonymous members of the community and public and the reinsurance company. Each child was gifted with multiple items for the holiday season. This initiative of gift donations from members of the public was fully arranged by the executive of the Foster Parent Association, which is a registered charity. The angel tree was publicized and was on display at Rosa's. Members from the public selected angels from the tree, which had the wish list items of foster children on them. Mr. Chairman, the department acknowledges the foster parents of Bermuda. They are our unsung heroes who provide loving, stable homes to children who have experienced significant trauma as a result of abuse and or neglect. Every day, they make a foster child's life better with their numerous acts of care and kindness. Mr. Chairman, appreciation and recognition must also go out to the Foster Parent Association that works in partnership with the foster care team. They provide extra support to foster children and foster families in the form of financial support for educational trips, specialized recreational programs, laptops for seniors' school and tertiary education scholarships for foster youth post-high school completion. The foster care team is to be commended as well as for working through some very serious, complex, and challenging cases. Mr. Chairman, I will now move on to Counseling and Life Skills, Business Unit 33200. Mr. Chairman, the purpose of the Counseling and Life Skills Business Unit is to advance and promote the emotional well-being of youth up to 18 years of age and their families. The budget for Business Unit 33200 for fiscal year 25-26 is $1,181,000. This represents a decrease of $8,000 or 1% compared to fiscal year 24-25. Mr. Chairman, the CLS team consists of a clinical supervisor and 3 social workers that provide strength-based, solution-focused, and client-centered services aimed at empowering individuals and families to make healthy life choices. The CLS team conducts in-person sessions and uses technology such as Cisco WebEx, Zoom, WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams, and the telephone to conduct sessions. Through these methods, CLS counselors have been able to complete necessary assessments and screening tools for developing service plans. The team has access to remote testing, and this has assisted clients with having the flexibility to fill out counseling tools via computer instead of having to come in person in the office. Mr. Chairman, referrals to CLS are primarily from external entities like the Department of Education, Child and Adolescent Services, and the public. These referrals are screened through the department's investigation screening section, where interventions are determined using the SDM tool and then assigned for services. A memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Education and the Department of Child and Family Services mandates that all substance-related incidents in schools are referred to the Department for Assessment and Education. Mr. Chairman, in 2024, CLS received 110 referrals, a slight decrease compared to the previous year. Of these, 106 were approved to receive services, and 4 were denied due to clients already being involved in external services. The referrals included 67 females and 43 males. 94 clients were actually served in 2024, with 12 to receive services in 2025. Mr. Chairman, the ages of the children served were as follows: 0 to 4, 1, 5 to 9 years, 8, 10 to 14 years, 27, 15 to 18 years, 14, over 18 years, 3. And those were female clients. Male clients, 0 to 4 years, 3, 5 to 9 years, 8, 10 to 14 years, 23, 15 to 18 years, 7. In 2024, notably, the highest age group for both genders have traditionally been between the ages of 10 and 14 years, and 15 and 18-year-olds. However, there was a shift in 2024 with females aged 15 to 18-year-olds years now outnumbering males aged 15 and 18-year-olds. Mr. Chairman, in 2024, referral sources for the CLS team included DCFS teams, investigations, foster care, family preservations, RTS, and adoptions, 74 cases, court, social worker, 1 case, schools, 29 cases, other, police, KEMH, CAS, and ILP, which is the Independent Living Program, 6 cases. Mr. Chairman, CLS team has observed a continuing trend of adolescents using vapes in 2024. There was a shift in 2024 compared to 2023, whereas the numbers of females reporting using was higher than that of male counterparts. The average age for 2024 based on the data was 13 years old. However, it should be noted that there were children as young as 10 who were referred in 2024 for either experimenting or for having a vape pen in their possession. The referrals in 2024 were received from children as young as primary schools, age to middle school to high school youth. Mr. Chairman, it should be noted that 90% of substance referrals are received from our schools. The other 10% of referrals are sent in by the police or KEMH. Along with vaping, marijuana, and alcohol use also remains prevalent amongst adolescents. Data from 2024 indicates that young people still appear to believe that substances are a healthy way to cope with life stressors, depression, anxiety, trauma, and grief. The complexity of family systems also underscores the need for co-parenting support and coping strategies for parents to help families effectively address mental health issues. Mr. Chairman, CLS received a total of 46 substance referrals in 2024, and of these 43 referrals received services. The number of substance clients who received services in 2024 were 18 males and 25 females. The other 63 referrals were service either for trauma, domestic violence, behavior, grief, mental health, or parent-child relationships. It is not uncommon for clients in CLS to be receiving therapy for multiple issues that could be affecting their well-being. The CLS team conducted 2 substance groups for the year in June and October of 2024. Mr. Chairman, several trends were identified in 2024 and included substance referrals for vaping and marijuana are still an issue with young people. This may be affected by legalization in some jurisdictions, despite this population being minors and their lack of understanding of the dangers of vaping. Grief counseling for children who have lost relatives, as well as relationships with parents because of divorce. A growing need for co-parenting support based on issues of custody and divorce. Younger children being referred with complex neurodiversity behavioral issues such as ADHD, ASD, who require a multidisciplinary team approach to address various needs. Parents requiring therapy support who themselves have experienced childhood trauma that is impacting them in adulthood. Younger children requiring therapy beyond talk therapy, such as play therapy, interventions to assist with self-regulation of emotions, such somatic therapy, which focuses on the body and how emotions appear within the body, and movement therapy. A need for parenting skills service that help parents understand different developmental stages and what is appropriate behavior during those stages. These trends highlight the growing need for counseling resources to support parents, children, and adolescents that are affordable, evidence-based, and relatable. Child Safeguarding Business Unit 33250. Mr. Chairman, this year, $100,000 will fund the Child Safeguarding Program as per the Child Safeguarding Act 2019. Children who are victims of sexual offenses or who are convicted of children who are victims of sexual offenses or who are convicted of sexual offenses and serious personal injury receive both physical and psychological services, which translates to costs incurred for psychosexual assessments and counseling services. Last year, 7 children received psychosexual assessments. 6 were victims of sexual offenses and 1 was a perpetrator. All children subsequently received associated counseling services. 1 parent received a comprehensive parenting capacity assessment. Mr. Chairman, I will now speak to Program 2303 Residential Treatment Services, or should I pause?
Well, I'm prepared to accept, Minister, that it is 12:30 and that we can adjourn for lunch and return at 2. However, Minister, if you wish to continue, by all means.
I will pause for lunch.
The Shadow Minister agrees very well. Thank you, Minister. If you wouldn't mind bringing the House just to adjourn for lunch, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to ask that we adjourn to lunch until
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Thank you very much, Minister. The House stands adjourned until 2 p.m.